us as Campus Crush students of Palawan State University, Biology Students, Botany Edition.
Ate, flowers po. Di ka ba binibigyan ng flowers ng crush mo? This is for you.
Wala ka ba natatanggap ng flowers tuwing National Flowers Day?
Sawa ka na bang maranasan yung feeling na walang nagkakagusto sa'yo?
As a campus crush, I can teach you how to receive flowers even on normal days.
How? Easy lang yan. First, you shall be able to distinguish different parts of a plant cells. Flowers for you.
Thank you. Paano ka makakatanggap ng bouquet kung hindi mo alam yung basic building blocks of life na isang halaman? Do you get my point?
Introducing you to the plant cell. Plant cells are the basic building blocks or unit of life in organisms of the kingdom Plantae, or which we call plants. They are eukaryotic cells which have a true nucleus with specialized structures called organelles, and they carry out different functions. Plant cells are differentiated from the cells of other organisms such as animal cells by their cell walls, chloroplast, and central vacuole. So as you can see, it has different parts which will be discussed. Now, I'm passing the phone to someone who is going to discuss these parts.
Hi, I'm Kim. So today, let me introduce you to the components of the plant cells. So, first we have a nucleus. So when you hear the word nucleus, what comes to your mind? Okay, what really is nucleus? So nucleus is a membrane-bound organelle that serves as a control center and contains the DNA of the cell. Nucleus is the largest cell organelle that is mostly spherical and dense. So, it contains a network of thread-like structures called chromatin fibers which contain DNA. So, this is nucleus. Yan. That is nucleus. So, nucleus, it is a vital organelle in a plant cell that contains genetic information, regulates gene expression, and plays a pivotal role in a process like photosynthesis and cell division. So this is what it looks like inside of the nucleus. So it contains a nuclear envelope, this one, and nuclear pores, and the chromatin, this one, the chromosomes, and also the inside of the nucleus we have a nucleolus, this one, and the center of the nucleus. So next we have a ribosomes. So what is ribosomes? So ribosomes in plant cells are essential molecular machines responsible for translating genetic information into the functional proteins, which are vital for the functioning and survival of the cells. Also, the main function of the ribosomes is for photosynthesis. So this is ribosomes. This one. Yeah, that is ribosome. So some of the structural characteristics of ribosomes are: first, it is small granules that are either scattered in the cytoplasm or attached to the outside of the endoplasmic reticulum. So it is also single-walled dense but spherical bodies that is composed mainly of RNA. So this is what it looks like of ribosome. So it contains amino acid chain, the amino acid tRNA, the mRNA, the codon, and also it also have a large subunit and small unit. That's all.
One of the major part of the plant cell is the cell wall. It provides the most significant difference between the plant cells and the other eukaryotic cells. The wall is rigid and gives plant cells a very defined shape. While most of the cells have an outer membrane, none of it comparable in strength to the plant cell wall. The cell wall is the reason for the difference between plant and animal cell functions because the plant has evolved its rigid structure. To simplify, to simplify it, ang cell wall po ay ang protective layer na inherent sa plant cell or bacteria. Also, additional fact na rin na hindi totally cell wall ang responsible sa rigid or stable structure ng plant cell. It is also the vacuole that is responsible for it. Like without the vacuole, there is not enough turgidity or the state of being swollen or being enlarged by internal fluids, and the plant cell will collapse on itself. The components of plant cell wall is first the middle lamella, the primary cell wall, the secondary cell wall, and the tertiary cell wall. Moving on to the composition of cell wall, the cell wall is mainly composed of carbohydrate materials. The major components of cell wall are cellulose, pectins, hemicellulose, proteins, and phenolics. First, we have the cellulose. The cellulose. It provides shape, and strength to the cell wall. We also have pectins. Pectins, they are the group of polysaccharides. They are present in high concentration in the middle lamella where they presumably serve the function of cementing adjacent cells together. We also have the hemicellulose. As you can see, these are the matrix polysaccharides built up of variety of different sugars. They differ in different species and in different cell types. Last major components of the plant cell wall is the proteins. Different varieties of proteins are present in the cell wall. Most of it was linked with the carbohydrate forming glycoprotein. So what are the functions of the cell wall? They determine the morphology, growth, and development of plant cells. They also protect the protoplasm from invasion by viral bacteria and fungal pathogens. They are rigid in structures and thus help the plant in withstanding the gravitational forces. They are also involved in the transport of materials and metabolites into and out of the cell. And lastly, they withstand the turgor pressure which develops within the cells due to high osmotic pressure. The other part of the plant cell is the cell membrane. The cell membrane is also what we call the plasma membrane. It is found in all cells and separates the interior of the cell from the outside environment. The cell membrane consists of a lipid bilayer that is semi-permeable. The cell membrane regulates the transport of materials entering and exiting the cell. Unlike the cell wall, cell membrane is present in all living organisms, including plants. The cell membrane or the plasma membrane controls the passage of some solutes and water into and out of the cell. Now, let me introduce the parts of the cell membrane. We have the carbohydrate, glycoprotein, globular protein, alpha helix protein, channel protein, peripheral protein, integral protein, cholesterol, and glycolipid. What is the role of cell membrane? The role of cell membrane in the plant cell is to separate the cytoplasm of the cell from its cell wall. It also helps maintain the shape of the cell, formation of tissues, and selective transport of molecules. The cell membrane also allows the entry of nutrients and exit of the harmful substances.
So let's talk about one of the important part of plant cells, and it's mitochondria. So the objectives of this video is to know what is mitochondria, what is the function and structures of mitochondria, and what is the importance of mitochondria in a plant cell. So first is what is mitochondria. So mitochondria is a membrane-bound organelle that is the site of energy production in cells. Mitochondria are located in cytoplasm of cell, and it is the largest cell organelle in a cell. So mitochondria enclosed by two membranes in its inner membrane and outer membrane. that only can be found in eukaryotic cells in such as plants, animals, and fungi. So mitochondria are also involved in other cell processes such as cell division, growth, and cell death. They can also make their own protein. So let's talk about the structures of mitochondria. So the main structures of mitochondria is inner membrane, outer membrane, cristae, and matrix. So mitochondria's function in a plant cell. So the main mitochondria function in a plant cell is to produce energy through cellular respiration. So during cellular respiration, cells use oxygen and glucose to make energy, carbon dioxide, and water. So as we can see in the figure, glucose, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water are combined to make energy, and that's what we call cellular respiration. So even though plant cells also do photosynthesis, they must also do cellular respiration as well. This is because all cells need energy to carry out their function. So cellular respiration begins in the cytoplasm, where glucose is converted to pyruvate in a process called glycolysis. Pyruvate is converted to acetyl CoA and enters into mitochondrial matrix to go through the Krebs cycle. So let's talk about the importance of mitochondria in a plant cell. So mitochondria play an important role in a plant cell. It's a simple explanation. So plants without mitochondria, plants cannot live because mitochondria is the source of energy that carry out the function of the plant cell. So without mitochondria, plants cannot live. So for the simple explanation in mitochondria, so mitochondria is to produce energy through cellular respiration, which generates ATP or adenosine triphosphate, the energy that used to function in a plant cell. That's all.
Alam mo ba ang mga serye ng flattened sacs na matatagpuan sa isang cell? Well, swerteng araw mo ito, aking kapwa kabayo, dahil ngayong araw aking tatalakayin ang FedEx ng mga cell o mas kilala bilang ang endoplasmic reticulum. Ang endoplasmic reticulum ay makikita sa loob ng cytoplasm ng isang eukaryotic cell. Ang endoplasmic reticulum or ER for short are responsible sa pagdi-deliver ng mga proteins sa different parts of the cells. And thus, we call it the transportation system of the cell. Imaginein mo na lang ang ER bilang ang rider na magdi-deliver ng iyong parcel. But wait, there's more. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum, each with different functions and characteristics. First up is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. What is it and why do we call it that? Well, it's got its name for its rough appearance due to the ribosomes or yung mga bilog-bilog na yun na may kita sa screen na naka-attach sa endoplasmic reticulum. Up next is the smooth ER, which unlike the rough ER, it does not possess any ribosomes. The smooth ER is also involved in the synthesis of lipids, including cholesterol and phospholipids. Well, looks like we have gone to the world of the Golgi body. So, ano nga ba ang organelle na ito? At ano ang function niya sa mga cells? Kanina, I said that ang ER ay parang rider na nagdi-deliver ng ating mga parcels. Guess what the Golgi apparatus is? It is the packaging house of the cell. It packages, processes, and ships out the stuff the cell makes. So in other words, the Golgi apparatus is like a packaging company. It packages out and ships our parcel. There are four components of the Golgi apparatus. These are the cisternae, vacuole, vesicle, and tubules.
Now, what is chloroplast? Chloroplast is a plastic that contains chlorophyll in which photosynthesis takes place. Now, it is composed of 6 parts, mainly the thylakoid, the stroma, the inner membrane, the outer membrane, the lamella, and the intermembrane space. Now first, what is thylakoid? Thylakoid is the one who is responsible for trapping of light energy and the transduction of this energy into the chemical energy ATP and NADPH, or the adenosine triphosphate, and the nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Now, stroma. Stroma is the one that helps support organs and act as a connective tissue for particular organs. Now, the inner membrane is the secondary covering of the organelle. It serves as an protection for the organelle. Now, the outer membrane is the primary covering of the organelle. It's the one who is the main guard of the organelle. The next one is the lamella. The lamella is the one that allows plants to convert light energy into chemical energy. And it's the one that needs to photosynthesis to happen. And last is the intermembrane space, or the space between the outer membrane and the inner membrane. So, what is vacuole? Or the space within the cytoplasm of cell are enclosed membrane and typically containing fluid. What is the function of a vacuole? It helps maintain water balance inside the cell. Now, vacuole is composed of three parts: the tonoplast, the central vacuole, and the cytosol. Now, the tonoplast is a membrane which bound the chief vacuole of a plant cell, while the central vacuole are the ones that store water and regulate turgor pressure. And the cell sap is the liquid inside the large central vacuole of a plant cells.
Hi bestie, are you still listening? If you see this, thanks for watching. Remember to absorb knowledge or take nothing at all. I did not manifest for you to see this, but you never know, this may be for you. So that is all for the plant cell and its parts. Thank you, goodbye.